Today, we're going to be talking about the CSS Box Model. This is one of the few crucial steps to better understand what you're working with in CSS. I personally only really went over it at a later stage, but grasping these concepts earlier on can prove to be quite beneficial. Now, the box model refers to the website's design and layout, and I want you to start thinking about every element in CSS to be a box, whether it be text, an image, or any other type of content. This box that I want you to think of is made up of many things, which I will further demonstrate in what we have right over here. In the first part, I'll use a simple paragraph text, and in the second, I'll use a box, so a div. This way, you can see that the exact same rules can be followed to the two different types over here. The box model is made up of the content, which is the text you see over here. And then there's some padding, which is the space inside the border, or you can see it as space surrounding the content. So anything you do with padding will affect the spacing around your content. Then you have the border, which is around the content, and finally the margin. The margin creates space around the element to either position it or create space between itself and another element. So over here, we're going to go to the text, and then I'm just going to give it a padding of 30 pixels. And now if I save that, you should see that the space around the text itself around each direction. From there, we can add a border as well. Now with the border, I will do the same thing. It would be 30px, and then it'll be solid, and then maybe let's make it Dodger blue, just so we can see. So if I save that, you can tell that there's the border around here. Each side is 30 pixels. And now finally, you can tell that this box is like right next to this border over here. To give it space, we use the margin property. And I'll do the same thing as 30px. If I save that, you can tell that there's 30 pixels of space around the box each side. As you can see, we move from the content, which is the text over here, then the padding around that content, then the border around this padding, and then the margin itself that create the space between these two elements over here. We can't really visually represent the margin like we did with the other properties over here, but you can tell that it's there. The best way to try and figure out how everything is working in an element is to use the inspect elements in the browser that you are using. I think for most, it should be a simple press of Ctrl+Shift+I, and this console should pop up over here. If it does not, you can right click as well and then say inspect. In the inspector over here, you can see everything that makes up the website. We will click on our text over here, and then I can demonstrate what we're seeing over here. So right now, if I hover over this, you can see some lines that go over the content. So this is the text. And then you can see the padding of 30 pixels that we've applied. Then the border itself over here. And then finally the margin, the space between the elements. Now from here, I'll just simply copy all this code over here. And then I'm going to paste it in the box. And if I save that, we should have the same result. And now if we click on the box as well, we should have the similar stuff that we've applied to the first one, which is the content, the padding, the border, and then the margin over here. I did only touch up a bit on each concept that makes up the box model. If you did want to go through each topic in more detail though, there will be videos and resources in the description below. And there should be a pop-up on the top right of your screen where I go through each one in more detail. With that, I'll see you guys in the next one.